Okay, so in this lecture, I'm going to show you all how to to do the unit project. So I'm going to open this up just a little bit more. So we right now are in Canvas, and so this should be your view in Canvas, and you've got Unit 1, so on and so forth. And so there's two ways that you can get to the project. You can get it to it, you can get to a little bit of it in Unit 1, but really the best way to get to it because you've got to go through like this long channel to get there. The best way to get to it is just by clicking on projects. So click on projects and you'll see, okay, Unit 1 Descriptive Statistics Project, Unit 2, Unit 3. This link right here is the actual link where you will submit your Unit 1 portion of your project. And the Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3 portions of your project, they're literally completion grades. Okay, I'm not necessarily checking to see if they're correct because I'm going to be able to see if your work is correct by how you do on your quizzes. So, in other words, work hard, make sure that you work hard to do your best to make it correct because if you know how to do it, you're going to do better on your quizzes. Okay, so let's take a look at Unit 1 Descriptive Stats Project. Okay, this right here it says, okay, every week you'll be required to do the project. Please download the file for the Unit 1 project here. Okay, so if you click on that link, you can download it. Okay, so we're going to download it, and we've got this, and it's like, okay, we've got the Unit 1 project. Wonderful. And you'll see, okay, share, open. So I'm going to click on open in Excel. So I'm going to open this in Excel, and yours might look a little bit different. You might have what's that called? A Mac where you've got like this little download thing up there, and you've got to open it. So we've got the Unit 1 project. So the Unit 1 project, this is your Unit 1 project. You are going to complete this entire workbook, and after you're done completing this workbook, you are going to submit your completed workbook back to me. Very, very, very important. The very first thing that you need to do, you do File, Save As. Okay, Save As, and let's see, we're going to put it, let's see here, we're going to put it Spring, Baylor, I'll put new folder, temp folder. And save it. That way you know when you save it, you're going to be able to get back into it. That it is going to save and that it's not going to disappear. So the next question is what do you do now? What do you do now? You've got all this just open data, and what do you do with it? All these open spaces. So I'm going to show you what you should do next. I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to go to Pages. Projects, let's see here. Let's go to important links. And then I'm going to go to for all printable resources and downloadable course content, please visit bit.ly/spring20 QB8. So I'm going to click on that. And then you can see, we've got the PowerPoints, we've got the project documents, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. We're clicking on Project Documents. And notice this is the same file that you just downloaded. And now I'm going to go to Datasets. And you're going to find your dataset. So let's see here. Which dataset do I want to use? Let's look at Olympics. Let's open this up. Athlete Events. I want to see if I want to use this one. Yeah, this looks good. This looks really great. So I'm going to open in Excel. And then what's the very first thing that I'm going to do with this? I'm going to save it. Okay, so it's still opening. I don't know what's going on with this. It might be that it's very large. Give it just a minute. Okay, there we go. It opened up. So we've got athletic events, and then we've got the spring 2020. And let's put this right here. So you'll notice we've got the variables ID, name, sex, age, height, weight, team. That's going to be nationality, the games that they competed at, the year that it occurred, the season, the city, the sport, the event, the medal. Okay, so that's, let's see here, how many is that? That's 15. So what I say here is, okay, download your data set from Excel. We did that. Familiarize your data set with Excel. We've got 15. We kind of understand what these are. You know what team they're from. I've got to figure out what NOC is. I'm assuming it's nationality. And then games, year. So you kind of look at that. You know what's going on. Additionally, like this is the city that they're from. Or maybe it's the city that the Summer Games are in. Let's see here. It must be the city that the Summer Games are in. Yeah, because 1996. So the city where the Summer Games are in. So 1996 was Atlanta. 2000 was Sydney. Then the sport, basketball event, and the medal. Okay, so there's a lot of people who did not win medals, but that's the majority of people who are there. They're still at the peak of their sport, but they didn't win a medal. And then their name. Okay, so let's take a look at this. What should we put in here? Variable. I think I'm going to put sex, age, height, weight, team, games, year, season, let's see, sport, and what else am I going to do? I don't know what the difference between sport and event is. It looks, maybe there's gymnastics. Yeah. So what it is this is a larger category, and there's smaller categories. Events are smaller categories within there. So you could do sport and event. So yeah, let's do that, sport and event. Well, no, I'm not going to do event. I'm going to do medal. Okay, so sex. We're going to say, okay, is this a number or a text response? This right here, is this a number or a text? This is text. So we know right away this is qualitative. Age, is that a number or a text? That right there is number. So we know right away this is quantitative. However, let's be careful for a minute, because it says it's a number, but can you do math with it? Can you do math with age? Yeah, you can do math with age. So we're going to put yes. Does it have a decimal? Yes. You can be 26.5 years old. So it's a number, and you can do math, and it has a decimal. Height, once again, it's a number. Yes, and yes. Weight, it's a number. Can you do math? Yes. You can add and subtract weight. You can say, 200 pounds is twice as much as 100 pounds. Can you have 25.3 pounds? Yes. Okay, team. Okay, once again, team is basically your country. So that's going to be qualitative. So that is text. And so that's going to be qualitative. Games. That's going to, be also text. And that's going to be qualitative. The year, that is going to be number. Is it a numerical value? Yes. Can you have a decimal? So this one's kind of complicated, but in short, it's 1994, the year, but it's really actually 1994.5. Because it's 1994 or it might be 1994.1, or it might be a particular month, which means that it's a particular time of the year. So you can actually have a decimal there. So it's going to be a quantitative, and then we'll get to that in a minute. So season, we'll skip over this for a minute. We're going to go down to medal. The medal is text, gold, silver, bronze. It's not numeric, and this is going to be qualitative. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and we're going to get into how to do this a little bit further. And we're also going to show how to make a discrete variable. Okay. Or sorry, not a discrete. We're going to do a dichotomous variable in just a minute. So we do have qualitative. We've got qualitative. We've got quantitative and qualitative. The next question is this nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio, or dichotomous? So, sex, this right here is dichotomous. The reason why it's dichotomous is there's only two options, male or female, okay? So dichotomous, it's much more specific than being able to say it's nominal. Technically, it's also nominal, but, dichotomous says it's nominal, and not only is it nominal, there's only two choices. Age, that right there is ratio, and the reason why is because there is a meaningful zero. Zero means that you are 0 years old. Height, once again, there is a meaningful zero. Zero means that you do not have any height at all. So there's a meaningful zero. Weight, once again, meaningful zero. Zero means that you do not weigh anything. Team, what country are you from? Qualitative, is there a difference, like a direction of difference? No, there's no direction of difference, so that's just going to be nominal. If there was a direction of difference, in other words, if you were to say, that this is faster than this or slower than this, then there would be a direction. Games, this is going to be nominal, because it's going to be, the games are going to be, okay, what, was it the summer games, or was it the winter games? Or was it the Barcelona games? Which games was it? So that's nominal because it's just giving a category to the games. Okay, year, that right there, this is going to be interval. And the reason why it's interval is because the year 0 is just an arbitrary number on the number line. So the year 2000 isn't twice as late as the year 1000, so therefore year is going to be interval. And then finally, the reason why I did this is metal. You've got gold, silver, bronze, and then not metalling, so therefore this is going to be ordinal. So I really want you guys to have at least one of each kind of variable in here when you choose which ones to assess. Okay, next, continuous or discrete. Remember, for this semester, we're just going to, for all of the qualitative ones, we're going to do discrete. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Qualitative, 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 and qualitative. Those are all discrete. Okay, and then for this, age, is that discrete or continuous? Can you be 19.5 years of age? Yes. So that's going to be continuous. Continue. Oh, there we go. Height. Can you be, 0.5? Yes. Once again, can you have a decimal? If you can have a decimal, then yes. Don't ask, is there a decimal? Say, can you have a decimal? And so, can you have a decimal? Yes. And so, that's what we've got there. Season, this one's a little tricky, and I'm perfectly fine with you saying, first of all, it is qualitative. And the question is it winter? Is it spring? Is it summer? What is it? I would probably say that it's nominal, but you could definitely make the argument that it is ordinal because you can put the seasons in order. And so I'm not going to ask you questions like that. I'm just letting you know. And these are discrete. Because there's, delimiting, hey, you have this season here, you have the season here, it's discrete. And then sport, once again, qualitative. And then that would be nominal and discrete. Now, let's look at dichotomous. How do you make a dichotomous variable? Dichotomous variables are actually really easy to make. Okay, we're going to make, first of all, sex. Dichotomous, all that it means is you've only got two options. Okay, for instance, for age, a dichotomous variable, you can say, okay, we've got age above 20 years of age, or 20 or below. So in other words, this would be 21 or above, and this would be 20 or below. And so these would be your two options. Okay, height above 5 foot or 5 foot 6 inches, and then 5 foot 6 inches or below. So you've got these quantitative variables that we just made into, well, now they are actually now qualitative, and they are now dichotomous. So it said, okay, you can either be in this category or you can be in this category. You've only got one of two options. And so now I'm going to do the same thing with, it's a little bit harder with nominal, because you've got to say, okay, you're either from, the continent of Asia, or you're from the United States, or you're from the continent of Asia, or you're not, or you're from North America, or you're not. It's you are either a land sport or you are not. You are either a swimming sport or you are not. Those are the types of dichotomous variables that you would have, but it's you are either this or you are not. And then last but not least, metals. Let's look at metals. You metal, you do not metal. So once again, it's just how can you take a look at that variable and split it up into two variables, two mutually exclusive variables, two variables that there is zero overlap at all. You notice with these, there is no overlap between these. It's above 5'6". In other words, it's not including 5'6". It's above 5'6", or it's 5'6" and below. It's above 20 years old, or it's 20 and below, or 20 or below. So these, you metal or you don't metal. So that's how you make a dichotomous variable. And then when you get into your quiz, you might have some questions that just build off of this and make sure that you understand how to do this work. And then when all is said and done, you're going to save it. Make sure that you put, let's put metal in here. Oops, Control Z, metal. So we're going to put NA, it's qualitative, and we're going to put ordinal. And then it's discrete. You could make the argument that it's not ordinal. I'm not going to split hairs on that one. With dichotomous is dichotomous. It's you do it or you don't. You metal or you don't. You're above 5'6" or you're not. That's the whole point with dichotomous. So make sure that you complete this, press save. For week 2, you're going to come down here, you're going to complete all of these, make sure that it's really pretty, really easy for me to see, do them in the areas that I put them, make sure that I can see your work. Oh, and take a look at this. I actually made it so that there's formulas, so that way it automatically updates it for you, and then do your mean, mode, variance, so on and so forth. And then for week 4, do the same thing like what you did for week 2. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. You would be updating this, uploading this later, and then that's pretty much how you do it. Trying to think if there's anything else that you need to know about the project. Okay, so about the project, I would highly suggest that you talk with your group about the variables that you're doing. You can work with them, and you can all work together to do this together. However, it really needs to be all your own work. Also, I would encourage you guys, there's a lot of variables. Split up your variables. Have some people do some variables, some people do other variables, because the more you have done now, the less you're going to have to do later when it gets later into the semester. So all of these unit projects just kind of build on each other until at the very end, you're going to be doing, the unit project. It's bringing it all together at the very end. So if you guys can split up the work right now, it's going to make it a lot easier at the end to finish up without having to do any extra work, or much extra work, rather. It's more interpreting everything else that you've already done. All right, well, hopefully that was beneficial to you, and if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments of this YouTube video. I will also put the files in the YouTube video link as well. So always look at the YouTube video link, because they'll always have the files that correspond with it. Good deal. Thank you much.